Go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider what it means to be free. What does it mean to be free? What does it mean to be free to you? One of the things that I've been echoing in my mind lately is that being free is getting to choose what you want to do. All right? Or even more specifically, being free is choosing not to do what you don't want to do. Right? And I know that every single one of us are probably in a different degree of this freedom, depending on where we are in the world, depending on where we are in our lives, depending on where we are in our own personal journey of self discovery. I have been feeling a little bit more free. Hey, turkeys! Hey, Pojo! I've been feeling a little bit more free as of late. I have been testing my freedoms. To say it in so many words. I have been not doing the things that I don't want to do. Right? And it seems to still be like in the trial phase. Like there's still some experimentation happening. Today I had like a conversation that set me at ease a little bit. Feeling into the stuff that I've been stressing about as of late, work-related things. Talking about things we don't want to do. Freedom to me means the freedom to let the exhaust pipe run without judgment. Sam, I don't know if you're doing this as of late a little bit on purpose. Maybe you are. But again, right, like I can then say I have the freedom to put my oil barrels in the ocean. Right? That's my freedom. Don't encroach on my freedom. I want to put oil barrels in the ocean because I want to be free. It's the exact same thing. The only difference is you're putting the oil, yeah, you're vaporizing the oil barrel, and then you're putting it in the air that all of us are breathing. All right, you shouldn't be allowed to do that, or at least since we've already allowed that to happen, we should start curtailing that behavior. It's not a matter of freedom. It's a matter again of doing what we're supposed to be doing, right? Again, freedom is not doing what you don't want to do. With electric vehicles, you're gonna want to drive an electric vehicle because it's better in every single way, literally, in every single way. Like there's not a single metric where it's better. It's better for waterproofing. It's better for the the grid because we don't have to truck or pipe, literal oils. Our electric grid has already been installed. You can charge your car with renewables. Fuel is not a renewable resource, right? Then there's the maintenance, right? When you're combusting things and you're moving gears around and stuff, that's going to cause some sort of wear and tear. So you don't have any of that with stator motors. Freedom, freedom. Goodness. Yeah, I don't know, Sam. I don't know. All right, like it's a matter of responsibility for me, right? Not doing the things we want to do. Like I feel all of us are responsible for our own well-being mentally, at least in part, right? And then there is this acknowledgement that the future is being created by our actions. And I don't want to do the things that would hurt our future. I don't want to do the things that my my ancestors would look back on me and scoff at. Like I think about that a lot, and I still worry that I'm falling short. Freedom is hard to be known. I'm gonna quickly try and switch this thing around. There we go. Let's see if that changed a little bit. Might not have. But I'm also trying to switch to Wi-Fi, which I did, I believe. Should be work. Should be worky. Yeah. Like I've one of the things that has been getting to me, Sam, and that's why a part of me feels like you're doing it intentionally. Is like you drop hot takes like that, and then you don't say anything afterwards. All right. So there's no real discussion that's happening. It's usually just a hot take, and then I have to be like, what? What? Excuse me? I had a wonderful conversation with Dan this morning. Dan from New York, who stepped away maybe a year ago. I do remember Dan. Specifically asked me to tell Melty how well he's doing and how helpful this space was for his growth. Oh, that's so good to hear, bro. Bless. Jovan, I think, told me the same. He told her to tell me as well. Let it be known that Dan gives reverence to this space and to you, Melty. He's evolving and growing and changing into a stronger version of himself. And he honors this space for his inspiration. It was a great conversation. That is nice to hear. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that, Joe. Yeah, all of us are still here, right? All of us are free to do as we see fit, to live the lives that we're here to live. I'm happy to hear that he's doing okay. I'm happy to hear that he remembers this space for the good that we did for one another and not for the little bumpy innesses along the way. Freedom. The freedom to choose wherever you want to be right now. That is some freedom. I have some Hiroshima in this Stein app right now. It's very nice looking nugs. They are indoor, so they are usually pretty strong. It was raining this whole time, and now it seems to have calmed down. It's kind of nice to have the change of pace. I thought it was going to be just loud, rushing sounds the whole stream. I want to be here, so I practice the art of freedom and sit here with you fine humans. Yeah. Right. Like there is that aspect of it as well, Pojo. And I see you making that example. That if freedom, at least in part, is the unwillingness to do the things you don't want to, then it also is the willingness to do the things that you do. To go and experience the love that is true, in so many words. And I trust that we will, friends. At least that's what I've seen in the way that we show up for this experience. There's so much to learn. Hey, Jovan is here. Love you. I want to formulate the question to Jovan perfectly in a way of like, how free have you felt? If we're going to measure freedom as the ability to not do the things that we don't want to do, how free are we? You know, and I feel again I'm sharing this as a consideration today because I don't know if I am perfectly free necessarily. Because there are always, sometimes at least, let's say instead, things that we don't want to do. That needs to be done. That needs to get done, ultimately. Connor is here with us too. Hey, bro. I love Joe Bot. That we do so much. And I'm having this inner dialogue about freedom of myself. It's particularly appreciated when I show up for presents in this way. Oh, my dad sent me a 3 minutes. It's interesting how this response arises. Now I have to ask myself, do I want to talk about this or not? It's going to be short enough. It's not extreme in so many words, but today I just sent a message to my dad being like, hey, Dad, I'm thinking about you. Hope you have a nice day. Or something like that. And it was like a 5-second, 6-second voice note. And I got a 3-minute voice note in return. It's nice. Nice. The part of me that felt like he wasn't supposed to say something about it is that I'm drawing some sort of comparison. And I'm always free not to. All of us are always free not to draw comparisons, but I don't know if that's necessarily something that we can choose. Is it a want or want not? Do you want to judge people? Do you want to judge yourself? That's a good one. Just like, never mind people. Do you want to judge yourself? Because goodness, do we do a lot of it? How have you been, brother? How have I been? Good. They say good. Systems check, good. All diagnostics clear. No problem here, sir. At ease. I'm feeling fine. Ultimately, I'm feeling pretty free, mostly free. I am definitely thinking, to some extent, about the future and about what the next year holds for me. I like to think in 10-year time frames, and every single time I start a new 10-year time frame, I start somewhere else. Right? And it's interesting to notice how things change. Glad to hear Papa Melt is doing well. Papa Melt. I'm not a papa just yet, bro. I'm free to abandon responsibilities that make me feel not so free. I'm not free from the consequences and outcomes. Yeah. I think that's where I am right now mentally as well, Jovan. So thank you so much for beautifully articulating that. To give you an idea, like as I'm verbalizing, I look over to my right. There's a bunch of termites, flying termites. They're soft-bodied ants, and when it rains, like it just did, they come out of the ground. And I was watching a bird, and I'm watching more of them. It's still happening. Just like snatch these little bugs right out of the air. So in that way, all of these little bugs had freedom, bestowed upon them. The freedom to potentially stay in their nests, or the freedom to go out, venture into the world, and maybe make or find a new one. And the consequences can be as dire as getting snatched out of the air and consumed by a bird. Does that make freedom a good or a bad thing? Maybe that's the question that could arise. Makes freedom definitely a force to reckon with. Freedom is consequential. Sounds like a cool topic, sounds like a cool slogan. Freedom is consequential. Do consider your choices. Communication is consequential as well in that way. Please choose your words carefully. Man, my mind is now going down the rabbit hole of consequences. Oh, goodness, consequences. Joe's spitting facts. Absolutely, she really does. Joe says, Melty, the family is talking about a farm. I have free space to build a giant boat if that happens. I might even start an LLC that requires a bilingual South African interpreter. Yes. I heard that South Africans work for cheap as well, bro. I heard that South Africans are willing to do it for food and residence, bro. I heard they're hardworking. I heard they're willing to show up every day no matter what, though. I heard these things about these South Africans. We'll have to see who beat you to the punch. Bro, this is making me so happy. I might be able to get you here. The idea is exciting. So many irons in the fire. Do I still need to build a boat? If you were already here, you were pretty much the only reason I was going to Africa. I mean, a nice boat is basically a house on water, bro. Right? I can build a house on my farm, dude. That should also be done, right? That should also be done. My mind is going down the rabbit hole of those cities that run. I think there's a whole Netflix show about that. I forgotten what it's called, unfortunately. Hey Google, what's that Netflix show called with the cities that move? My eyes, Mortal Engines. There we go. Yeah, pretty sick. Yeah, pretty sick. Mortal Engines. I don't know if we need to be building mortal engines, but boats, sure. Maybe some. Let's not call them blimps. Floating, floating luxury vehicles. Yes. Uh, the cruise ships are very, very bad for the environment. If we can figure out, like, if you're gonna build a boat, this is my bias. This is me being biased, and I'll come and interpret. I'll come and help you put them up. I want it to be like full solared out, bro. Like that's my idea of a cool boat. It's like absolutely cladded in solar up top, right? So you always have shade no matter where you are on the boat as well, which is a big thing for me. And then your shade is also an energy capturing device, which puts all of that energy into your batteries. We spec big. We spend a good chunk of change, and we wait as well, right? We wait until the American battery factories are really online, which will be in like in 2 years. Batteries will be dirt cheap. I mean, not dirt cheap. They'll be closer to dirt cheap, and then we can put like 200 kilowatt hours. That's a lot. That's a lot of power. That's a big power. Fine, 300. We do more. I just saw in Yesumful. It's one of those big bull birds. And then we just go on the ocean. I don't know if they'll be. No, they will be. The one we'll build will be ocean worthy. It has to be. Jaju, I'm gonna take you to South Africa, and you'll stay for the brides and the conversation. I think Joe would fit in well in South Africa as well. He'd enjoy it here. It's nice to hear you say these things. Like the conversation has been had. That's like what I'm like coyly saying. We'll see who gets there first. It's a quite a stretch in the Midwest of a river. You have a place with me. If I go to Africa, I'll never return. Yeah, Pojo knows. Like maybe I should show you what I'm looking at right now. If you see me just like gazing over, I'm looking at that. No, I'm like looking at those lush trees. That rock face as well. It's pretty. Some South Africa. You want some South Africa? There we go. Did like a 50-50 split. Right. Exactly the way it's supposed to be. Just saw a dragonfly fly past me. Synchronicities abound. What illusions do I need to dispel? The illusion, the illusion of freedom, maybe? We are talking about freedom today, after all. Is freedom an illusion? Some scientists would argue yes. What do I think? When I think about freedom, I get this overwhelming compulsion, this urge to start making gibberish sounds for some reason. Like instead of speaking words you can understand, I just want to go. I don't know why, but it feels like a kind of freedom. Maybe I don't want to make sense. Is making sense overrated? Does that not make sense as a statement? You could drag me away. You couldn't drag me away from that land. Africa is the birth of my spirit in so many ways. When you get here one day, you'll realize how true that statement is even more. It is quite surreal. This place has a primordial ness to it. Like a roughness. Like you're 25 years behind the rest of the world. Ness to it. It's kind of nice. It gives you this sense of there's still so much to be done, so much to be built. That's why I know that no matter what happens, I'm going to become a denizen of the world. That I'll come to America and stay there for a few months, and then I'll come to South Africa and stay here for a few months. Ideally, I would like to go to Europe as well, but that might also be a little bit of a tough sell. I'll just have to become wealthy, apparently. That's all I really need to be accepted. We can do that, right? I'll have to charge that $7.25 or something. That's extreme minimum wage. Like yesterday, weirdly enough, Jovan found out that Indiana is one of the states that still has like the $7.25 minimum wage. Africa, dog. I can't even words about it. Oh. Jovan did reconnaissance, right? And I made her sign an NDA. That's why. No, totally not. She's free to speak her mind. She's totally free. Speak your mind, Joe. Go ahead. Gibberish is a type of language that speaks from the soul. Some people say that it's angelic. I come from a theological world where gibberish is called speaking in tongues. And it's done by those who apparently have an even more thorough connection to God or the angels. You know, and then they'll just start like, in church, and I'm like, as a child. And I was 6 years old when I started speaking in tongues. Because I was like, oh wait, bro, I can do that shit. That's easy. Start speaking gibberish. I'm like, I've been speaking gibberish my whole life, bro. Yeah. What do you mean, dude? I think you're Spanish. Oh, being a kid. Part of me is definitely holding on to that as an experience. Part of me wonders if I'm going to be forced to let go of it. Part of me feels like, you know, there has been this experience of that, almost like feeling like it's being attempted. There's so much moisture in the air. My hair hasn't been drying the same way it usually does. This is fine. It's okay to be nonsensical. It still relays the intentions. Non-disclosure agreement. Jovan, you want to help me build a boat? Nice. Going to Africa was like skibbity, bop pippity, wowzer kapowzers. It was such a heavenly experience. You know, I mean, to be completely honest, Joe, I think A lot of what made that experience as heavenly as it was is you. Oh, but it's true. It's true. Like in this, there's a dual meaning in that. It's like you do see the world through your eyes as a type of heaven. So by that extent, you were the heaven that you saw. And two, you also, with your intentions and with your efforts, put us in environments that were kinds of heavens, right? So we got like the double whammy. It was nice. Melty, shave your head, dude. Me as bald man. I don't know, it's a little bad, I guess. I guess. I guess. I feel if I had to shave my head, it has to be something ceremonial, right? It has to be like on my 27th birthday or something like that, which is not that far away. I scream in pain at the realization that I age. Stop! Stop it! Never ending time. Stop! Stand still for 1 second. Would it be cool if all of the drops just stopped mid-air? Probably not. All of us would die instantaneously. Time stopping powers doesn't work. For instance, even if I could stop time, and I try to now walk through this environment, the drops would cut through me probably because they wouldn't be moving. And they wouldn't be movable because there's no space time. Space time. Very convincing. It's very, very convincing. My mind wants to go down a rabbit hole that I don't know if I should. It's like it's considering mortality. It's specifically been considering this. I want to use the word realization. The consideration of whether or not there will be some sort of realization, a remembrance, specifically as it relates to what I expect of myself and what I think my life is supposed to look like, what I think I'm supposed to have had experienced, in so many words. Right? So it manifests as, will I live my life either happy with what is or in some sort of pursuit of something else, something better, something more significant, and then eventually pass only to realize that that was silly of me? I wonder. Jovan makes heaven. Oh, dang. Jovan, you want to hang out for a little while? Yeah, let's do it. Same time, same place every day. It will be mega super rad though. If we could make noises with strings and faces over a campfire. I don't think those moments are far away. I always make strange noises. I make strange noises more. Like my concentration of strange noises definitely goes up significantly when I am completely by myself, I have noticed. Seems to be an interesting correlation. I wonder why that happens. It's a certain type of freedom, I think. Other people might not want to hear my gibberish screaming, and in that way, I might abstain. But then when I'm completely alone, suddenly I just will start making sounds. I'm listening to the sounds the birds are making, you know, in the same way, just like screaming. All right, I'm gonna check something quickly. We might end up finishing soon. I have a little plus button. What does this do? Start a poll. Huh. I can ask you friends things. I can go happy? Question mark. How about that? Neato. I didn't know that that was a thing. But now I do. It doesn't tell me right off the bat what the statistics are. I have to click on it first. But it's working. It's working. Cool. Now I can like quickly and effectively ask you friends a question. I can be like, should I end this stream and start let me do this. Let me do like an end poll. And then I'll do another one. Start a horizontal one? Question mark. Boom. I'm I'm grateful to be here and flapping. And flapping. Hard shell or soft shell tacos? Yes for hard shell, no for soft shell, right? Let's see. We got 2 votes in, but 100% yes rate right now. So I feel like that is technically, you know, all the information that I need. Meow meow, it's flippin' flappin', free to be my friend. It is nice having you. Rain is definitely starting to come down a little more. Rain is definitely falling. I don't know if you can see that. Not much. But you can see the little bugs, little ants with wings flying into the world. I wonder if we can capture one of them getting swooped up. Probably not. I think the concentration is high right now. All right. I think our votes have been casted. We're going to start a horizontal one. I thank you, friends, for showing up for this one. Bless you. I'll see you again real soon. In like a moment. It's raining here so softly too, but it's a cold rain, a cozy blankie day. At least it is Sunday, so you get to be a cozy blankie. I'm so happy. I'll see you real soon in a moment. Goodbye, everybody.